And good afternoon, everyone. May I get a sound test, please? Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Hope that you can hear me also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and others. An amazing trading day today. I mean, one of the few trading days lately where we've been doing pretty much a leg down for the whole 6.5 hours of the trading days. As you can see on the SPY, this is why it was important for me to show the SPY. Take a look. We've been over the VWAP. The last time we traded over the VWAP was 945 or 950. So after 4-minute bars sideways and up, we started to the leg down and never moved over the VWAP until the close. And actually, it doesn't happen very often. Where the trend is so clear the whole trading day. Basically, we didn't move much until we broke under the lows, and that was late in the day, after 2 p.m. But after 2 p.m., the volumes picked up, and we drove from 327 down to 322. That's $5 more than 1.25% on the SPY. So the numbers today were kind of ugly for the S&P and the Nasdaq. SPY down today 2.8. Sorry, 2.3. The Nasdaq 3.1, and boy, everybody that managed to hold on to short positions into the close got paid, really. I got paid in NKLA, got paid in Visto, got paid in LI, got paid maybe in other trades. Exited Johnson & Johnson very early, but those who stayed with Johnson & Johnson also got paid. Well, 50 cents. We're not in bear market territory, Jerome. If you look at the S&P 500 daily chart, we will need, where's the S&P? Hold on a second. That's the S&P daily chart. And all-time highs were 358. You need to deduct 20% from 350 or 360, so 300. Bear market is going to be at this support level, 20% from the highs. So we are far away from the 300, but let's face it, the market was super extended in August. August was one of the most amazing months ever for the S&P. You can see that it started trading in August at 322, ended up above 350. So that was more than a 10% win for the market. And basically, we killed August, and we are now trading mid-July levels. So nothing happened, basically. So, however, again, if you want to look at bear market, you need to see we need to see the market at 300, but it's also a semantics. It's no more than semantics, and we broke well, not to 2020 highs, but we broke higher also in June, then again in August. So we're still very, very strong, and let's see if we are positive for the year. You know what? We're actually flat for the year. We opened the 2020 at 320 on the S&P 500. You can see it. You can see it on the monthly chart, And this is where we are pretty much right now. So down substantially, 25% and up substantially. And eventually, after great volatility this year, we are flat 9 months into this year. It's actually an accomplishment for the markets. The Nasdaq, on the other hand, is way positive for the year. The Nasdaq opened the year at 211, now trades at 260, so it's like 211, 260, 30% to the upside, maybe only 25. Okay, guys, let's go back to our business, which is the case studies. Hold on a second. Terrible sentiment towards Tesla, Workhorse, NKLA, and many others. SPI is now trading at $12. Wow. SPI traded as high as 40, now at 12. Anyway, let me bring in the charts. Everything is getting killed today. Yesterday we had the reason why I wanted to bring in interesting stocks is the coronavirus environment. I didn't see anything happening today in the corona stocks. The only corona trade that worked today was ZM, which is a pro-corona trade early in the morning. Then it pulled back. Let me start the recording, and we'll be on our way. Guys, Clifton is recording the session. If you need recordings, just email him tomorrow morning. The name of this session is Open Session September 2020, 2 out of 2. So yesterday we analyzed the price action and progress of Peloton, which started pretty much the trading year at 18, or traded as low as 18 if you can remember, then broke 30, traded pretty much as high as 100, and nearly broke 100, actually broke 100 today. So a stock that was hot pretty much for the whole period since the coronavirus hit the markets. That was early March, maybe actually mid February. So this is the stock that was with us and still will be with us, and it's going to be probably a winner into the next couple of months if we'll see more closures in the United States. Hopefully we won't see, but if we'll see closures of gyms and closures of cities or lockdowns in cities and stoppage of public transportation and such, so Peloton can still be a big winner despite failing today at the breakout of 100. Indeed, it came very extended to the breakout of 500. However, if you remember looking back at the chart last night, we've seen 30, 40, 50, 60, pretty much every round number on the daily chart was a successful trade with or without a technical pattern, all of the moves accompanied by the pickup in volume. Having said that, we had another example today, and I wonder how many people were ready, prepared, and traded ZM at 500. And I'm sure that not that many, being that I missed it as well, I cannot complain and say, where were you guys? Because we talked about this trade yesterday. It doesn't get, rounder than 500. And if I want to bring the example today, you'll see that there is lots of resemblance between the 500 in ZM today. Where is ZM? Hold on a second. Anybody traded ZM at 500? Okay, guys, take a look. Shorted at no, I meant the morning session move over 500. The stock broke over 500 at 9:43 in the morning. Basically, the money trade wasn't this one. Basically, if you analyze the intraday chart, the money trade was pretty much 491. I agree with that. Trading ZM is very, very tough with those huge spreads and aggressive moves. Hi guys, can I get a sound test? Webinato failed us once. Hopefully it won't happen again. I will bring the screen in a split second. Okay, now the screen won't come up. Oh my god, this is like okay, guys, I'm trying to upload the charts again. Okay, now it's gonna work. Can I get a sound test while get a sound test? Hopefully now the sound is better or good. And once the sound is going to be established, I will go ahead and bring in. Okay, now let's see that. Let's hope that the charts will upload because something's not working well on my side of Webinator today. Had plenty of issues. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Cannot upload the charts. Oh my God, this is bad. Let me retry one more time to exit the room and come in one more time. Hopefully it will work. Right now the charts are just not uploading for whatever reason. The charts are back in focus. Let me redo the ZN trade again, which is pretty much the same trade that we analyzed yesterday in Peloton at 30. So a breakout over the highs of the year. So in this case, it's 500 is not 30, but a breakout over the highs is pretty much the same analogy. Breakout over the highs is still the breakout over the highs, and the preparation for it, which means that if it breaks very early in the morning, you really need to be prepared or on top of it. If you're not prepared for the trade, sometimes the movement is very, very fast. And talking about a fast movement, you can see the chart in ZM where it breaks the lows of the day at 491. That's at 9:40 in the morning. And basically, let me see how minutes later. Yeah, it was 4 minutes later. It's at 500. So $9 in 4 minutes, and 40 minutes later, it's at 525. So this was amazing trading opportunity that could have been traded with a small amount of shares. I don't know if you it depends on your account. For me, it's anywhere between 50 and 100. If you are willing to take 10 shares and the trade is going for $35, even with 10 shares, that's $350. So there's lots of potential to trade ZM. It's a small Tesla and not the Tesla that we trade now every day at 400. It's a small Tesla when Tesla trades at 2,000 2 weeks ago. So it's a huge mover. Um, Actually, lesser spreads than Tesla, better volumes. I'm talking about, of course, about the Tesla from 2 weeks ago, and a huge miss. I mean, like I said, buying 10 shares at 492 and another 10 shares at 500. Let's call it the minimal position here. 20 shares. The stock is up $35, and you don't sell everything at $35. Let's say you sell your whole position after $15 on average on 20 shares. That's a working day, and you're done by I don't know 10:30. Done with the trading at 10:30. I mean, this is only on 10 shares, so there's a huge potential in Zoom, but this is nothing new. The preparation for this trade is exactly the preparation that you needed to do when trading, when you traded in retrospect, the breakout on the daily chart in Peloton at 30. Exactly the same preparation. Take a look at the daily chart. This cup breakout, that was yesterday, and the round number breakout at 500 because it's such an important round number. And again, if you look at the intraday chart, where was the volume bar or the biggest volume bar? As expected, at 500, this volume bar traded 458,000 shares. The volume is 500,000 shares at 500. Guess what, guys? Look at the volume bar all day. Which is the biggest volume bar all day? And look at the answer. The biggest volume bar all day is the 500 breakout volume bar at what was the time? 9:40 in the morning. Again, you see that no matter what is the price of the stock, no matter where it's located on the daily chart, those round numbers are golden. And the reason for that, there are so many swing traders and investors and all kind of traders that uh, just do things with automated orders. And in this case, the automated orders that cried for an entry was 500. This is why it worked, because so many people worked the 500 entry. Um, in retrospect, their outcome was amazing. I wish I was more attuned to it. I think it was a huge mistake for everybody that took the class yesterday, and we talked about the class and the round numbers, and not to take even a small position in Zoom. Especially where the outcome is $25. It doesn't happen very often. And when I say it doesn't happen very often, it did happen very often today. Another time where SPI, another out of nowhere type of trade, and this stock basically breaks again, guys. Take a look at this magnificent trade. In retrospect, of course, the 10 breakout in SPI. You can see that the 10 breakout in SPI is basically lays the ground for the move from 10 at 1 p.m. to 40 at 2 p.m. What happens after, it's beside the point, but again, those round numbers, 5, 10, 20, obviously anybody that bought at 10 did not lose money. Anybody that bought at 20, those who bought at 20 maybe made some money. I'm sure made some money. Those that bought at 30, I would have to say that you buy at 30, and if you don't sell it very, very fast, meaning at 40, 10 minutes later you're in danger of losing big. Yeah, nobody is going to stay from 10 to 40. I agree. But if you buy at 10, okay, you buy at 10 and end up with 15 on a $10 stock, it's not happening. Again, 500 to 525, that's a 5% move, okay? But it's $25. This one is also an aggressive move, but this one is a 300% move from 10 to 40. But if you buy at 10 and sell at 11, it's great. If you buy from at 10 and sell at 12, it's amazing. If you manage to sell in positions, and lucky for you, in this trade, it's not like, it's really moving very fast. So if you are a bit patient and you follow the trade from below, instead of selling blindly, let's put it this way, you can easily end up at 20, maybe just hesitating, and it moves from 20 to nearly 30 in 4 minutes. It was unbelievable. I mean, I didn't see it because I didn't trade it, and none in the room, or most of the people in the room did not trade it because it's not tradable on the platform. But again, why am I talking about it? It's only because of the round numbers. Those round numbers are dominant. And again, the reason why are dominant is that many traders are using automated orders at round numbers. That's pretty much the deal here. Okay, let's move back to our and now start our presentation. Let's start. I prepared 2 cases today, both of them from the biotech sector, both of them from regarding or about stocks that basically played the COVID-19 environment. While Peloton is enjoying the COVID-19 because its competitors are being closed down and people are now switching to their products. Of course, the US government and global governments are looking for a cure and spending money hands over fist on those, let's call them biotech, let's call them biotech. I don't. They are not biotech IPOs, but they are more like biotechs labs that are pretty much dealing only with viruses. One such company is Moderna, which has no other business basically other than developing vaccines. And the second case that we're going to see today is Novavax, which is 100% vaccine company that those who traded the markets 5 or 7 years ago when the SARS virus was around, you can I still remember Moderna from years ago. Anyway, so this is the case that we're going to analyze. We're going to do it very fast. We have 2 cases, and then I had the problem with the room, so we are really backed up with the time. We analyzed the daily intraday price action of Moderna, and the way this stock evolves in the middle of the coronavirus crisis, which in this case is the leg up in April 2020. So what is the big deal, or why is Moderna suddenly a stock that at one point we traded almost on a daily basis? Lately we're not doing it anymore, but Moderna was basically a stock that came out of nowhere for many traders. You can see the weekly chart. Okay, you can see the weekly chart. You can see the volumes in Moderna going back to 2019, or the beginning of 2019. And if you look back at the chart, you see that stock trades mostly sideways on no volume until mid-February. You can see that something changes. First of all, you see a huge bar on the weekly chart and a huge volume bar on the weekly chart. That translates, of course, into moves on the intraday chart. But the idea here is that investors that start to smell the problem, okay, with COVID in Europe and the United States are looking for, the beginners, the smart investors are starting to look for solutions. And solutions for COVID are the first line is the companies that their business is developing vaccines. One such company is, of course, Moderna. And you can see how it's so easy to spot that investors are into this stock, because look at the volumes and trading ranges before COVID and immediately as COVID investors are looking at Moderna. So the volume picks up 1,000%. The stock is immediately on everybody's watch list. The daily range picks up as well. So there's no way to hide, okay? And the idea here is that a stock will move if everybody is going to cooperate in the same interest of buying or investing or trading Moderna, assuming it will fit the expectation. And mid-February or the beginning of March, there's nothing other than expectations for Moderna, because it's just the beginning of the operation. And as you know, so far nothing came out 6 months later, 7 months later. Sorry, 6 months later. This is how it looks on the daily chart. So again, until mid-February, you can see the daily, the ranges are zero. Okay, nobody cares, nobody's buying. It's like this stock is way deep under the radar. It's like mollusk at the bottom of the ocean. No investor on Wall Street wants to know, has any interest. Basically, nothing happens. Okay, until there is a spike at the beginning. You can see a spike in the range at the beginning of February, which dies out, but immediately after the hype starts. And again, the hype starts with, of course, the first investors driven by news in the paper or in the papers or on Bloomberg, CNBC, wherever. And then this pattern, which you know and seen, and pretty much we've seen in so many stocks, breakout on the daily chart, on increased volume, where the stock is breaking at the highs of the year, and it can be 36, but could have been also 20 or 50 or 100 or 500. In this case, 36 is not, ideal. 30 would have been better, but 36 is good enough. And in this case, if you look, guys, at the setup on the daily chart, you see that 36 is being tested over a period of almost 2 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, nearly four times before the breakout day. So before the breakout day, And enjoying this setup, you can easily, if you know what you're doing, set up an entry at 36. Okay? So we are day traders. We don't need to set up anything. We can do it everything manually. Okay, but many investors, traders, those are looking at Moderna and thinking, okay, boy, is this stock up, but COVID is a big deal. So I don't know if when inventors started to buy it at 20, if the target was 40, 60, 80, but you know that the sky's the limit for those who are going to produce or be first or second in line to produce um, the solution where, I don't know, 5 billion people will need vaccines globally. That's a big enough number. Now, if we're moving on and focusing on the mRNA slash biotech sector, okay, because this is a stock that's rooted within the biotech sector. You can see that the stock is basically a winner over the sector, and that's clear because uh, this is a company that's 100% geared towards solving the problem with COVID, while if Pfizer is working on a solution, or AstraZeneca, or many other um, pharmaceutical companies, their main business is not COVID. Maybe COVID will be 2% of their business, maybe 25, but it's not going to be 100%. So obviously, the biotech sector companies are lagging, and the reason for that it's clear. Moderna is all about mRNA, is all about COVID and nothing else. So it's for the company. It's like a 0 and 1. They need to deliver the solution. So this is why you see a big pickup in the trading ranges and better production, and the stock is at the highs of the year. While, as you can see, the XBI is definitely not at the highs of the year in the same time frame. However, the XBI ETF, biotech ETF, that's the one that I'm using, as a benchmark, owns 3.3 million shares of mRNA. So mRNA is deeply involved with the biotech sector. Okay, so we're coming in, and the stock is closing April 14 at 35 bucks after 35 bucks highs. Opens April 15 without any gap. Okay, pretty much resembling, and this is why I went through the ZM trade earlier, because the real entry is 500. The stock opens at 490 or 491. You can still buy it before it breaks 500. Here, the concept is that we need to buy it at the highs of the year, 36. Maybe there's a better entry. Maybe you can buy it at 35. Okay, as a day trader, you would know best. Okay, versus other traders that are just posting 36 long, stop loss, let's say 35 or 34, whatever. Okay, and then they go to work. Okay, and this is it. Okay, this is their business, posting a trade. We work, we watch the chart, we prepare, and if you are prepared for the 36 breakout and you see the setup here between 9 and 9:30 in the morning, you're kind of disappointed. Okay, let's face it. There is no pickup in volume, there is no gap, there is no signal. Okay, so early in the morning. However, you can still prepare the trade, and we'll see how things will work out for Moderna April 15. So what can you do to prepare? Okay, watching the chart between 9:30 and 10. Exactly what you needed to do to prepare for the ZM trade this morning. Okay, buy the breakout, take the right position and the right risk, and if you want to add at the real breakout on the daily chart, so be it. So on ZM, you buy the 492, add at 500, or you buy at 492 and you don't add at 500, or you buy only at 500, joining all the other swing traders, investors, whoever is buying at 500. This is why the 500 is, the big volume entry, but the smart entry is not 500. The smart entry is 492. Just check ZM on the intraday chart today. The same analogy works here will work probably here with Moderna. And again, the highs of the day, now that we're looking at the 2-minute chart, the highs of the day are 34.70. The lows are at 10 a.m. Okay, so what are you doing here? Okay, the stock is basically moving sideways in trades at the view up. Nobody's prepared to buy at 34.70. Okay, but if you're not following the stock closely, you will miss the trade. If you're looking at other trades, probably going to miss on this trade. Okay, so the idea here is one of two things. Either you follow it closely or you post an order to buy the breakout. And then hope that it's going to move straight up from 34.70 to 36, which is the breakout on the daily chart. And you have a 35 as well on the way up. So maybe 34.70 is an entry, maybe 35. You need to prepare for all those scenarios. And assuming, the stock is not trading lower. If the stock trades lower, you wait, you come back April 16. If it's not relevant, April 16, maybe April 18, and so forth. So this is the trade that you shouldn't give up. The reason for that is the environment, meaning this is the right stock at the right time, or probably is the right stock at the right time. It's not a retail stock. It's not a technology stock. It's a biotech stock with the intent of this company to solving the COVID issue. That's it. I mean, we had many winners over the last 6 months. Some of them were technology stocks. Okay, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Others were retail stocks like Wayfair and Overstock. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but they were still huge winners. This is the right on the money type of stock, where if you just spend 30 minutes reading over the weekend or reading at Yahoo Finance or going to Yahoo Finance and searching for Moderna, you know exactly what's cooking. Okay, so this is again the setup between 9:30 and 10. Let me see if there is anything interesting here. Not really. Okay. All right, guys. So 9:30 and 10, nothing happens. Guess what? When things start to move for Moderna, they move super fast. Take a look of the price action after 10 o'clock. Okay? You can see that the stock builds a bull flag formation, breaks 35, and after it breaks 35, it goes straight up to 36. And this is where, and how do you know, guys, that this is where everybody enters? You just look at the volume chart. Look at the volume chart at the bottom of the presentation. You'll see the biggest volume bar all day is the 36 breakout. As expected, mimicking what we've seen this morning in the ZM trade, what we've seen yesterday in the Peloton trade. The stupid entry is the money entry, okay? But the smart entry is not 36. If you are a day trader, you can see what the smart entry is. If you are a day trader, you know that buying at 36 is still a good entry on the daily chart, but for a day trader, it's not a professional entry. Okay, maybe it's a joining entry, but it can easily be a take profit entry instead of being a first entry at 10, exactly 10:30 in the morning. So the chart forensics are clear. The biggest volume bar is at the 36 breakout. Why? We know already why. But this is not the money trade. Okay, you can see the entry between 34.45 and the 34.25. You can see the breakout over the highs of the day. You can see the 35. Those three entries, all of them, are way better entries than the 36 entry. Okay, so analyzing, this is now important, guys. Analyzing the chart at 11 a.m. 11:00 a.m. Which technical entry is the best? Which technical entry is the best looking at the chart? So we have the 34.45. Okay? We have the 34.70. We have the 35 and the 36. Which one do you think, guys, is the best? Joy says A. Let me see what I say. Okay. So far, I see that the people are on the money. Joy is on the money. Ron is on the money. Anybody else thinks that 35 is the right entry or 34.70? Because in this case, I have to say, you have to be blind, okay? You have to be blind. Jero says 34.70. 34. Some people like the 34.70, but again, take a look at the chart, okay? And you see that this bull flag formation, you see the leg up from the lows of the day, then a bull flag formation, and now the stock moves sideways, okay, for about, let's see how much time, nearly half an hour. So if you're watching Moderna, okay, you see a 20-cent bull flag formation, which is perfect. So I think, okay, if you don't buy the 34.45, you're making a huge mistake. Why? The 34.45 is a perfect bull flag. On the perfect bull flag, you know what is your entry, you know what is the stop loss. In this case, it's a 20-cent risk. Now, what is the risk when you buy 37? What is the risk? Those who posted the 34.7 entry. Okay, what is the risk? It's obviously 25, 50 cents. Okay, risk means stop loss. Yeah, risk means stop loss. The stop loss is going to be 34.20 or 34.25, so 45 cents. Okay, so not only that you're entering or you buy more expensive, you have double the risk. So what's the big deal about it? There's no deal. So given that the chart is giving you an amazing 34.45 entry, this should be your entry as a day trader, of course. You can add over the highs of the day. You can start selling at 35, basically. 35, you're already 50 cents in the money, double the risk on the trade. Yeah, of course. And if you buy 34.70, you would probably buy less because the risk is higher. Okay? So if you buy, when you buy a very, very small, on a very, very small risk, okay, or on little risk, probably you buy the right position. And if it works, so be it. In this case, you can see the stock goes through the breakout at the highs of the day, the round number 35 breakout, and doesn't stop before it breaks also the 36. So this is a $1.5 trade basically in 2, 4, 6, 8 minutes. 8 minutes, the stock goes to $1.50. I don't want to say it's faster than ZM, but it's really, really fast. Okay, so this move is coming out of nowhere pretty much because the stock trades absolutely no volume until 10:30, and then things unravel. Okay, so great call, guys. Bull flag entry. This is a day trader's entry, good for us. Now, did I trade this stock? I don't think so. I don't think I traded Moderna April 15. So that, for me, it's a paper trading example. But the same this morning with ZM, paper trading. Okay. This is how we look, guys, an hour later. So what happens here? Basically, the morning session until 10:30, we see nothing. Okay, then we see this bull flag breaking up, and the stock trades from 34.45, okay, 234.70, 235, 236, a pullback, 237, and nearly, I don't remember what is the number here, 30 at the highs of the day, above 37.70. So the stock basically goes for $3 in less than an hour and a half. On the way up, you can take partials, you can add, you can do so many things. I mean, the scenarios are infinite. Okay, depends where you enter, what are your goals, but anyway you look at it, this is a big winning trade that starts, if you so desire, or see this bull flag out of this 34.40 slash 34.25 support bull flag. So the journey here starts with a 20-cent risk and ends up with nearly a $3 winner. That's more than 10 to 1, unheard of. Again, why is it happening? Because you have here a combination of the right stock in the right sector, meaning a COVID-19 fighter, the breakout on the daily chart, maybe some news intraday that are driving in the volume. But even if there are no news intraday, okay, and maybe you can ignore it. The daily chart is the living proof that there are buyers, and there are buyers that have no problem buying the breakout at the highs of the year because this is the strategy. And you've seen it yesterday, we've seen it today with ZM, and we're seeing it again right now with Moderna. And again, this is a valid strategy. A breakout on the daily chart, especially when it involves a round number, is a valid strategy that was discussed in the Star Trader class many times. And those who did not take the Star Trader class, this is actually a super to the point example where you need to take the class. Okay, you cannot avoid taking the class for whatever reason and not being being or not being aware to this type of potential where round numbers on the daily chart work on not on every stock but on leading stocks are just working to perfection. It's not going to be happening every day on any stock. We have also the example of Peloton today where 100 failed. Okay, but you need also the market not to interfere and be to a degree on your side. I have to say that Peloton today had zero support from the market. Okay, zero support. So the breakout to all-time highs failed, but it doesn't mean that it can't continue later. When I say later, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a couple of days. So analyzing the price action at 12 noon, is it safe to say that? The upside in the trade is not clear anymore. It's of course BS. The trend is still higher. Shorting mRNA will be a mistake. The long pattern is broken. all of the above. So at 12:30, guys, look at the chart at 12:30. Basically, after the pullback from the highs of the day, okay, there is a pullback. Fine, it's still above the VWAP. Clear. Nobody should think about shorting this type of a trade. Okay, it is at the highs of the year. It's extended, but the trend is clearly to the upside. Actually, the pullback here is actually a good opportunity to buy. Okay, it's not clear exactly where, what is the stop loss, but how much to buy, of course. The timing is questionable as we enter the line session, but the idea here is to stick to the trade or the trend. And if it comes down to the VWAP area, even better. But if not, a pullback is a buying opportunity, is not a shorting opportunity. And many people ask today in the room, where can we short ZM? Eventually it dropped, but it didn't drop because ZM was weak. It dropped because the market was, impossible to trade to the upside, even for ZM today. It's still closed positive, I think. And guys, look at the outcome, okay? It will come in the room in a split second. This is 2 p.m., guys. So we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 breakouts, maybe 5 breakouts already. By 2 p.m., we are after 5 breakout trades. And the VWAP reversal, although it's not tradable, and the reason why it's not tradable is that it touched the VWAP only for 6 minutes. Okay, so that's not enough to analyze the trade and enter. But the 37 still is being tested for more than an hour. Okay, actually more than an hour, from before 12 to exactly 1 p.m. So if you are in this trade and you do want to buy the 37, you have another opportunity. Stop loss is going to be, in this case, way down to the VWAP area. There's no other stop loss, but there is another trading opportunity, even if you're not in the trade. If you are in the trade, now you know where you can elevate your stop loss, meaning under this triple bottom at the VWAP. So 36.30 can be your new stop loss for any position that you're going to hold into the close, whether you are a day trader or a swing trader. If you are a swing trader, of course, and you're not looking intraday, this can be a stop loss that can take you into the next trading day. Or maybe at under 36 using, again, round numbers. So at 2 p.m., we are pretty much at the highs of the day after trending higher and trading higher from the 34.50 area, nearly $3 in the money. A huge winner, let's face it. And it all started with basically very clear entry point on the daily chart. So we analyzed the price action between 12 and 2 p.m. Are there any new points to enter mRNA? Okay, so if you look at this chart, what are between 12 and 2 p.m.? Okay, what are the entry points? Here, I will have to say that if you don't see the VWAP reversal, which is very hard to see, the only entry that I would have seen is 37. Okay, there's really no other entry in retrospect for Moderna. 37 is clear. 36.30 is a fluke if you are in the trade. 36.50 I don't think is reasonable, and that's it. You know, there aren't that many good trades, and this one is actually working to perfection to the upside. 4 p.m., guys. Everything is still clear cut. The breakout over 37 works. The stock trades over 38 before it pulls back and closes at 37 and a quarter. So any entry, good or bad, is the result of any entry, assuming the right stop loss, is a winner. The stock is trading from 34 to as high as 38 plus intraday. So $4 plus for intraday range. It's an amazingly a big mover. Again, for a $30 stock. Now let's think at 3:48, 3:58, or 3:55 p.m. whatever. I prefer actually 3:55. You know what? Let me change it. Because 3:58 is too late. You can make a mistake, miss it, and get stuck with a position that you don't want to be in. The best thing to do is start closing positions 5 or 6 minutes before the close, and not having to wait for the last 60 seconds, and then you make a mistake and you're stuck with a position that you don't want to be in overnight, and guess what? Then bad things can happen and there's nobody that can help you. So what is the next step for a day trader? If you bought the 35 leg up, the 36, the 37, or the 38, okay? What is the next step for a day trader? If you're a day trader, you close the remaining position, okay? Or you swing a quarter, or in this case, I mean, no swing, because it's trading like you don't want to be in financial airlines and stuff fearing a gap down. You don't want to be in biotech stocks because they are very volatile. Also, Moderna did not close at the highs of the day. I will have to say that the riskier sector to swing by far, okay? The riskiest sector to swing by far is the biotech sector. Okay, of course, the stock can drop 50% overnight on bad earnings or a recall from the FDA or all kind of stuff. But the worst is where a biotech stock is getting rejected with a drug that's already priced in, and the FDA needs more paperwork, or they reject your project altogether, and then I've seen stocks lose 80% in one day in the biotech sector. So if you want to be careful, don't swing biotech stocks. If you have a big winner like this one, I think it's okay to swing a quarter, but it's more like a personal strategy and preference. I cannot tell you, yeah, you must swing biotech stocks. No, it's actually super risky to swing biotech stocks. So if we want to summarize this, the setup here, another breakout at the round number that works, closes at the highs of the day or near the highs of the day. Maybe it's not a swing candidate, but you can decide on that. I mean, it's more like a personal preference here. Now, I also analyzed the statistics of mRNA in April 2020 and in September. Okay, so I analyzed the average daily volume, the shares of number of shares outstanding, institutions in the mix, how many shares, what is the percentage of the shares that insiders are holding, short float and such. Okay. And guess what? If I'm looking at April 2020, okay, versus September 2020, the numbers that I've seen on Yahoo Finance are the same. Now, is it reasonable for institutions to still be in only 53%, and insiders did not sell even 1% of their positions 6 months later? I don't think so. So I think I cannot trust, based on this example, I cannot trust mRNA's, let's call them data, or back office, or I want to call it back trading. I don't want to call it back trading, but let's call it stats. Okay, back office or stats that are important for us as day traders, and I cannot trust the numbers, but that's beside the point. We don't trade those numbers. Those numbers are there for us to remember, but they should change. I think that they definitely changed from more institutions and less insiders holding shares of Moderna. Um, I don't know anything about the short float, but obviously those numbers are not to be trusted. I think the numbers are way higher for institutions, way lower for insiders. Regarding the short float, I think it's also diminishing. Think. So let's review this trade again. It's very, very simple. Okay, another triangle breakout at a round number. This one with very good fundamentals, and as everybody in the world, and of course in the United States, is looking for a company that can deliver the goods, in this case the vaccines. Guys, Clifton posted his email. If you need recordings of this session, you're more than welcome to email Clifton. So this is the breakout over 36 on the daily chart. Volume increasing, but nothing amazing. Okay, guys, the day after. That's now. Okay, hold on a second. This is of course 2 days after the breakout. We are up from 36 to just above 41, nearly 15 or 16% in 2 days. Guess what? Then the big move actually happens. Okay, so in the background you can see that the volumes are increasing. The stock is gapping up 4 days in a row, gapping up at the lows, gapping up nearly 4 days in a row before reaching in the 5th day the highs of April. But the idea here is that with a very, very simple entry, I'm going back to the chart, okay? The morning chart. Guys, if you remember the trade between 10 and 10:30, when the stock trades at 20 cent range, and you said, some of you, that this is the best trade of the day so far in the morning. Now imagine this 20-cent range a day after. This is the day after. Okay, so where you buy at 34 and it's over 40 with a 20-cent range, see the relationship? even on 50 shares, not to mention a big position, okay? And then this. And then you get lucky and Moderna receives US government funding. I mean, this is the holy grail for a biotech stock, that it's a small cap, needs money for personnel, for trials, for, I don't know, offices, whatever they need money for. And suddenly the US government is funding. And there is no better I don't want to say partner, because it's not a real partnership, but in this case, the US government is even better than a partner. It doesn't need or does not own a part of the business. It's just giving away money for Moderna to develop the vaccine under some rules and regulations, and the investors love it. And as you can see, the stock trades 3 days later at above 56 per share, after it struggled intraday to break over 36 just 4 days prior. So this is 36 to 56. That's $20. That's 60%. The stock goes up 60% in 4 trading days. You cannot beat that. Not even ZM can do it. Not even Tesla, probably. And this is how it looks looking up to this trade today. Okay, so the stock ends up moving from 36 to 60 to 87 before pulling back, and then moving up again and pulling back again. So now, guys, take a look at 70. And this is what we need to be prepared maybe for tomorrow. A breakout over 70 on the daily chart. Let's take a look how it looks right now and decide. mRNA. It's always on my watch list. Today it's not, weird. Highs of the day today, 68, 62. I would definitely look for a 70 trade. This is this reversal trade. If it gets there, I'm not sure that it will get there tomorrow, but it's clear that this is the new Moderna trade. And in terms of risk reward, it's you know exactly what are the stakes here. Okay, this one can easily move from 70 to 80 to 90, maybe more, and the risk on this trade is going to be an intraday risk. So add this mRNA to your watch list, and I'm not the guy that will post the entry now, but it's on my notebook already in my watch list. Not going to forget mRNA at 70. It's not going to happen. Okay, so this one is now implanted in my brain. After missing ZM at 500 today, I'm not going to re-miss Moderna. Assuming it will not gap up over the price, or act very, very, aggressive around it. So 70 is our entry target for Moderna in a day or two. Question, guys? Let me sum up this case, and we have one more. We're going to go through it fast. We're not going to take a break today, so I will go through it as quickly as possible, and we will close it in about in about 30 minutes, maybe 40, but no, let's do it without the break, and then we will be out of this room, and we go home at 6 p.m. Not that bad. Okay, so this is the whole yearly chart of Moderna. Again, looking at this yearly chart, I clearly see the 70 breakout. And if I want to summarize what's going on with Moderna, take a look, guys, at how many ETFs are holding it. So 100 ETFs are holding mRNA. 100 ETFs are holding mRNA is a spectacular number for a small cap. Means that there is belief in this company. Okay, there is belief, and it also belongs to the Nasdaq 100. So it has a good relationship with the markets, has a good relationship with the XBI biotech ETF. It's a happening stock. We traded it so many times. Don't miss the 70. Okay, we're good with this presentation. Let me move on to the next one, which is actually even a better trade, but a bit aggressive, same sector, same business, same everything, okay? The reason why I brought this, again, this biotech stock into this presentation today is that I'm thinking that with Europe going into lockdowns, and maybe later this year as the winter emerges, maybe some parts of the United States will go into lockdowns. There will be another leg up in the biotech stocks, which are now basically moving sideways, and really not a lot of people care. So Novavax is a company that its business is one, develop vaccines, pure and simple. Okay, that's the business of Novavax. Very simple to see what's going on here. And our analysis is pretty much the same, okay? Our analysis is pretty much the same. Analyze the intraday and the daily, and look for an entry point, in this case, on the daily chart. If we're looking, guys, at in April at Novavax, there are only 20 ETFs that are holding 1.4 million shares of Novavax. That's not a good number. It shows that nobody cares about Novavax. It's an IPO coming out of, sorry, not an IPO, a biotech stock coming out of nowhere. Now, if you read or know anything about Novavax, the company is in danger of being bankrupt at the beginning of 2020. Now, how do we see it? Take a look, guys, at the daily chart. This is the daily chart of Novavax going back to 2015. Okay, so the stock trades at one point as high as 300 during the SARS pandemic, and 2 years later, after failing to develop any solution, any vaccine for SARS, the stock is down 99% or 98%, and trades at 350 in March or early March 2020, which is a total collapse. And I didn't know that it necessarily means bankruptcy, but that was I read somewhere. I don't know if it was 3 months ago or 6 months ago. I read that the Novavax before starting to trade on the COVID issues was pretty much a candidate for bankruptcy, and COVID is the best thing that happened to Wayfair. It's the best thing that happened to Moderna, and while for most of the market is the worst thing that can happen, for Novavax is the lifesaver. Doesn't get this is why Novavax is the company to tackle these issues and develop a vaccine. In this case for COVID. So you can see the daily is a disaster. Okay, the daily shows a disaster. If you're looking at the intraday, this is again the first 4 months or 5 months of 2020. We start to see some price action. The first one is in late February. Okay, so there's one signal early February, then a signal in the beginning of March, and then a pullback and some accumulation, and then guys, take a look at the chart. Okay, something happens and the stock breaks over 20, and in one day it's up to 26, then pulls back again. But everything happens, or most of the price action is on relatively lower volumes. Now, this Novavax, I mean, I'm sure that biotech analysts, anybody involved with the biotech sector knows that this is the business. COVID is pretty much what Novavax needs. This is 100% their business to find them the right dosage and the right type of solution for COVID. And the reaction in the market, as you can see, is positive. On the other hand, the stock never delivered anything positive. So there are, of course, those that are skeptical that Novavax that failed to deliver during the SARS era, and you've seen the 300 to 3 move on that disappointment. I'm sure that some other people will still prefer to be trading or investing in Moderna, maybe in AstraZeneca, maybe in other leading pharma stocks versus spending money or investing money in a risky business like Novavax. And indeed, Novavax is a risky business. But remember those numbers, guys. The stock started to trade at 350, okay, in February. The stock traded at 350 in February. It was on nobody's watch list, grid, or anything like that. Okay. However, being that I traded and remember the stock from the SARS era, okay, and I was very skeptical about mRNA from the beginning, but I had no belief in NVAX because I remember how big of a failure it was during the SARS eruption 4 or 5 years ago, whenever. So why is a stock like this has no IBB correlation? IBB is the leading biotech ETF. The reason for that, guys, is simple. Look at this ETF summary. Only 20 ETFs are holding positions of NVAX. Only 20 ETFs, and 1.4 are being held of the shares float altogether. So there is no presence in ETFs from NVX. Therefore, the reaction to NVX is minor. But you can see that the stock is starting to look, or to a degree, lag the market, but it's still not in line with the market. So it has a poor, or let's say below average, not poor, below average IBB correlation. Again, why is it important? Because when you trade the NVX on a daily chart or on the intraday chart, you want to see what is the business or what is the benchmark doing. And if you don't have a benchmark, your decision process is going to be hurt. You always want to see, as much as you can, of course, a benchmark. So what about the overall concept of NVAX? Okay, it's a momentum stock driven by news, a biotech stock with no ETF correlation, a clear momentum stock. a winner in this coronavirus environment, a risky long-term investment. If you read and classify NVX, it's pretty much all of the above. Okay, it needs momentum and volumes to move. It's a biotech stock that has basically not a lot of a correlation with the biotech sector, but it's a biotech stock. You know, this is their business. Um, it's a clear momentum stock. It's a huge winner. It's up from 3 to 20. Um, guys, take a look at the chart. It trades at $3 at the lows of 2020, and mid April it's already over 27, up 800% or 700%. You do the math. I mean, this is a staggering result. Having said that, the surprise was that the stock is pretty much coming out of basically nowhere. Facing bankruptcy, COVID hits, and saves Novavax. Okay, so again, we're looking at the round number on the daily chart. Okay, this is our pattern. Take a look at this. 20 reverse. It's not a breakout trade. It's a reverse trade, still at a round number, hoping to see more volume. And this is how the daily chart looks. Okay. Now, if we look at the intraday chart, those who are expecting the leg over 20, guess what? It's breaking 20, but it's doing it in the first 5 minutes of trading. So if you really don't have an automated order to buy 20, you're not in this trade. No way you're can do it manually. Not when you can or need to look at many other trades. And your focus, let's face it, it's not on NVX. You don't know. You also don't know the spreads and the way it trades so early in the morning. So I would have to say that without using automated order in the platform, the chances of entering manually at 20 is slim. Maybe it's possible. Okay, but it needs lots of focus and a very to be ready for this trade very early in the morning. And of course, you need to understand that the stock gaps up and trades higher 10% already. So it's on everybody's watch list, which is now a very good thing. So if we analyze the price action after 30 minutes, of course, it's clear to say that this is a clear uptrend, looks like a bull flag formation at the highs of the day. The view up is below. So this is a perfect setup where if you manage to enter at 20, good for you. If not, you need to look for another entry. Maybe 2160, maybe. Let's go over that. We decided that the 20 is feasible. However, again, guys, how many of you, is there anybody that thinks that you could have done, had you done the preparation, you could have traded NVX at 20, May 11? Anybody here in the room thinks that there was any way that you could have traded them exactly at 20 NVX on May 11? Because I would definitely have to say that no way I'm taking this trade so early in the morning or being prepared for it May 11. No way. Anybody? Okay. I didn't expect actually that you guys will come forward and say, yeah, I'm going to buy it next time, or I was in that trade. Okay, that guys, if you look at 2-minute bars, this is how it looks. A 2-minute bar, test 20 after 2 minutes at 9:32, and immediately it moves up. So basically you had zero time frame to enter this trade. The only way to trade it is if you post the trade in the pre-market session. Yeah, but again, you needed to prepare it in the pre-market. You cannot prepare it. You don't have enough time to start preparing it at 9:30 because it moves immediately. So you needed to prepare it in the pre-market. I know it's doable, okay? It's doable. The volume is good, but the timing makes it very, very tough. Then what is your stop loss? The lows of the day, 1962. Yeah, that, if I'm thinking only 1962, it's a good entry. But again, is there any slippage here? Maybe you're not getting filled at 20. Maybe you're going to get filled at 2020 or 2015. So there are issues in the background that we cannot address right now. Anyway, this picture is actually showing that there was a trade at 20. You can see it clearly on the intraday chart. Okay, there was a trade. There was enough time to take it. You needed to be super prepared and super fast. That's pretty much the deal. Okay, best trades, guys. Okay, if you're looking for a trade that will work and eventually works, it has many great characteristics. One of them is, of course, breakout on the daily chart. The other one is the round number breakout on the daily chart. Then round numbers intraday, and of course, round numbers as support. In this case, you can see that after the 20 to 2160 leg, the pullback is and the move sideways following 1130 is with with a $20.50 support. Okay, so round numbers continue to play a big part in this stock. Okay, even though it's not moving higher anymore. So, but in this case, the round number is the support number. Okay, so if you're thinking always about support numbers, okay, never use 2056. Use 2050. Okay, never use 2063. Use 2050. Try to round things up and use as much as possible round numbers and half round numbers, where for a $20 stock, half round number is a very important number. Okay, it's not very important for Nvidia or ZM or for Tesla or for Apple, but you know what? Even for Apple, at $100 per share, a 50-cent move is a good move. So, in retrospect, it can be also a good support level. And whenever I can find a 50-cent trade in Apple or in Baba, I will take it. It's not possible to do it anymore with trade or shares like Facebook. Tesla needs $5. Same goes for ZM. Also needs 5, 6, whatever. Anyway, so you can see the 2050 support level and how the trade shapes up where you already know what is the support. You can see the view up. You are over 20 and into uncharted water on the daily chart. Sorry, it's not uncharted water, but you're over the big seller at 20. Let me see if there's anything interesting here. How should a trader, day trader approach the chart between 10 and 11:30? That's interesting. Okay, so how do you approach the chart between 9:30 and 11:30? Okay, or in this case, 10:30 to 11:30. First of all, you analyze support and resistance levels. Those are the most important levels for us as day traders. And if you see a clear support level without seeing an interesting resistance level, okay, so you take notice that this is a support level. In this case, buying as close to support is what you want to do. You don't want to buy away from support. You want to buy as close as possible to support because then you have less risk. On the other hand, the power trade will be probably the breakout over the highs of the day, maybe over 21. Okay, but if the stock is now moving sideways and you can buy instead of 2090 risking 40 cents, you can buy 2065 risking 15 cents, that's a no-brainer where you need to buy based on your very, very simple analysis. In this case, that 2050 is the support level. And again, now you have plenty of time, guys, plenty of time, plenty, to analyze the chart, to watch the daily chart again and again, see the biotech sector, look at the SPY, analyze if you do want to stay and take or be part in this trade in Novavax. And if the answer is yes, okay, so look how easy it is to read this chart. Very, very easy to read the chart. I'm not saying that trading the chart is easy, but identifying it super easy. Okay, so good things happen. Guess what? The stock breaks over the highs of the day. So where was the good entry? 2050 was support. 21, a good entry. 2160, breakout trade. Not a great entry, but a doable entry. Okay, so it's not that late on the day, and a break over 12 over the highs of the day, it's a valid trade. Again, what is the risk on this move? If you look at the chart, you want to take the risk for maybe a move to the VWAP area, maybe. Okay, but there's basically no other support level. The other support level is down to 2050, which is more than $1 in the money. Worst case scenario, maybe. Best case scenario, obviously not. Okay. Very simple question. How do we manage the 2160 breakout? The 2160 breakout, okay? The breakout happens exactly at 12 over lunch, 12 noon. So is it a lunch trade or still an early trade? Then what is the risk? Do we buy a full position or less than a full position? Because we are already over the 20. It's not a breakout trade on the daily chart anymore. The 20 is way in the pocket. So how do I approach this trade? Full, half, better than average trade, and what is the target here? All of those questions need to be answered before you take the trade, guys. And again, this is a simple trade, breakout over the highs of the day, but the setup is not very simple. If you look at the breakout trade, risk is like 40 cents, maybe 35. It's not early on the day, but guess what? Look at the volumes below, guys. What happened when the stock breaks over the highs of the day again? Easy to spot them if you look at the right part of the chart, meaning the volume bars. You can see that the volume bar picks up again. I mean, it was at the highs of the day early in the morning at 20, and now it's again. The volumes are, highs of the day is being bought by everybody. Okay, so this is a strategy that really, really works. You're seeing it day in and day out. Buying the breakout at the highs of the day and joining many, many other traders in doing so. Now, what is the percentage of this strategy? The better stock picker you are, the better the percentage. If you lazy stock picker and just pick stocks at random that go nowhere, nowhere, nothing is going to happen. But if you're a good stock picker and you go to the niche trades in the biotech sector, and those trades work, so be it. Those are the right trades. So how can you manage? How should you manage the 21.6 breakout? As a lunch trade, I will say it's not a morning trade anymore, and it's a lunch trade, meaning 1-to-1. Now, if the market gives you 3-to-1, the second partial is your big winner. Pretty much like we did, the guys with VSTO trade. Okay, we took an early partial, and the second partial was the big winner. Sometimes the first partial is going to be the big winner, but you cannot bank on that. Okay, for example, the breakout over on Peloton over 100 yielded nearly 40 cents, but not enough to take the partial. Okay, so then you wait for the second partial, and you sell your first partial at the entry. The second partial may work. In this case, it was, for me at least, a big loser. Okay, going back to the question and analysis. How should you manage the 2160 breakout? As a 1-to-1, pretty much breakout trade over lunch, 1-to-1. Again, if the market is giving you more, you try and take it. Most of the time, it's not going to be that easy. That's 2:30 p.m., guys. The stock moves sideways and sideways and breaks 22 and down and up and down, and eventually at 2:30 p.m. is at 23.30, and it's now $3 in the money versus the 20 entry, and nearly $2 on the 21.60 entry. So by now it's a huge winner. And if you miss the 22 breakout, you may add above the 22 breakout. So it looks like NVX is cruising very easy out of this breakout of 20 on the daily chart. You can see, guys, the volumes, which were great in the morning session, are again very, very strong in the afterland session. Why is it that? Why is that? I'm not sure. And the end is really the end. The end is amazing. Okay, the stock closed at the highs of the day, up, in this case, I don't know, nearly 30% on the day or something like that. A huge, huge move for Novavax that started way down at 1960 and closes nearly $5 higher. Sorry, $5 higher. Now, can anybody expect this type of a move in Novavax just because the daily is lined up? It's not enough, okay? So I think there were other reasons, and in a split second you will find out which are those reasons, or what are those reasons. So what is the next step for a day trader? Now it's not trivial. The stock is such a big winner, and if you have a position, for me, such a big winner is a swing trade. Okay, if the stock is $3 in the money, it will need, a black miracle to gap down the day after. So, if we're talking about the summary, twin stocks, we can today go ahead and say that there are two twin stocks in Novavax. Those are Moderna and Ino. Okay, we've seen Moderna earlier today. We didn't see Ino, but I can consider them twin stocks. Not 100%, but to a degree. Okay, those are the stats in Novavax in May, and I lined up below the stats in September. I think I have a problem with Yahoo Finance there. I don't know. They're either not updating or some of the stats they are showing is definitely not up to date. Having said that, there is the volumes are lower those days versus the price action 6 months ago. Why is it happening? I'm guessing because of the daily chart. The stock is not hot right now, but I think it will regain composure any second now with more COVID cases globally. Okay, where's my... Okay. So let's recap what we've seen here. Another case where dedicated or super dedicated stock to the sector of to the biotech sector is about to break mid-May on the daily chart. Sorry, not mid-May, early May on the daily chart, and it has a 20 reversal entry, not a breakout. In this case, the 20 is the reversal entry, and the stock looks already super extended after trading as low as 350. But what is super extended? Not something that NVX can deal with. So this is the first trading day, from 20 to nearly 24. Sorry, 25. That's on the breakout trade with no major news. Guys, look what happened. Basically, a day after. So if you are lucky to stay in the trade, again, with a very small position, with a quarter position, with whatever. Okay, if the timing is right and the things work out, then they do work out. Then the Center of Epidemic in the United States, I don't remember what CPI stands for, is funding Novavax. I mean, funding Novavax is even bigger for Novavax than the funding Peloton. Sorry, not Peloton, Moderna. Okay, so the reaction is unbelievable. The stock doubles, nearly doubles. It traded Monday at 20 and Tuesday as high as 45. That's because of the CEPI. That's the Center of Pandemic or whatever. You can read about it. Coalition for Pandemic Preparation, something like that. So the Coalition for Pandemic Preparation is funding Novavax, maybe through money it gets from the government, whatever. We could care less. This is the result. Again, you need some luck and timing in this market, but you also need to smell and be around the right stock. So if you're looking for strength in the coronavirus environment, you don't go ahead and buy, I don't know, American Eagle or Urban or JWN. Maybe you don't buy Wayfair as well, but you can go ahead and buy Moderna or Novavax or Eno or any other biotech stock or ETF. Okay, so to make a long story short, because we want to close this session in about a couple of minutes. This is the amazing leg up in Novavax in 2020. Started at 350, traded above nearly at 190 a month and a half ago. So from 3 to nearly 200, I don't know, that's 10,000%. Maybe it's not, it's only 7,000% to the upside, but this is one of the biggest winners. And then it pulls back, okay? Then it pulls back, but there are still plenty of round number trades that we can follow. Plenty. Okay. The problem with NVX is that volumes are lower now, and it's not a day trading stock anymore. It's very, very spready, so we stay away from it. Okay. But okay, so it's not something that we will day trade, but on a given timing, on the given timing and the right entry, it's tradable. You'll trade less, you have a more risk, but overall, it's something that can still be on our watch list. Okay, especially now, those days with COVID cases intensifying across the globe. So. We found an entry for Moderna. I don't see an entry right now for necessarily for NVX, but we have Eno. We didn't discuss it today. We have Moderna. We have NVX. Moderna is at this point the one that we can trade probably as soon as tomorrow or the day after. And in summary, guys, remember at the beginning of the year, there were 10 ETFs trading in Novavax and 1 million shares. Now there are 49 ETFs trading Novavax and 5 million shares. So there was a pickup over the last 6 months of shares from Novavax through ETFs, and some of those ETFs made money, okay, off of Novavax, moving from 20 or 30, whatever was their entry point, now at 100, going to 180, and those guys are here to stay. Okay, those positions in Novavax are not trading positions. They are mid to very, very long-term positions, and I'm sure that they will buy more if the stock will perform or continue to perform. Guys, the summary of those two cases today is daily is super important. If you add super important daily on the daily chart and super important sector or timing, in this case, the coronavirus stocks on the intraday chart. So you have a combination of daily, which is very strong, intraday, which we can buy, and the right timing for a stock. And not every day you will find a trade that starts at 10 in the morning, sorry, at 9:30 in the morning at 492, and an hour later it's at 525, or a stock that trades a $36 breakout and 2 months later is at 180. It's not happening. You need to plan for that, okay? So those trades were actually trades that I picked up from our trading room. We traded Novavax many, many times. We traded mRNA many, many times. So nothing is, hidden. Everything is on the table. Question, guys? Next week, we're going to have the new class, the new cases, starting Monday. Next week, starting Monday, new cases. Hopefully, I'm looking to find really interesting cases or cases that have some, additional value attached to them. No questions at this point? Again, if you need my email, michael.tradenet.com. Let me write it down again. No question, guys. Thanks very much for being here. Have a great afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the session today, and more important that you traded successfully the after lunch session. And we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot for being here, Silvio, Joy, Joel, Shafkri, Maria, Terry, and everybody else. Thanks a lot and good night, guys. Again, guys, if you'll need the recordings, no problem. Just email Clifton tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot again and good night.